No male role models go to sleep alone at night. They took my uncle.
This is my bedroom right here. This is the trap. Rubber band, man. We used to wear rubber bands to signify like how much money, how much blow we had. You know what I'm saying? We had, 3 rubber bands that'll probably hold about $5,000.
Ever heard the name Tip? That was T.I. before the fame, before the platinum records, before the world knew him as one of hip-hop's sharpest voices. Back then, he wasn't known for his lyrics, he was known for his grind. As a teen hustling between New York and Atlanta, Tip was neck-deep in the streets, stacking cash and flexing rubber bands on his wrists like trophies.
T.I. at LAX, this is a good question. T.I. used to be known as the rubber band man.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Every band showed just how far he'd climbed in the game. He was so locked into the hustle that the streets crowned him the Rubber Band Man. It wasn't just a nickname, it was a badge of respect that spoke louder than any mixtape. Crazy to think, right? A kid that deep in the hustle would rise up to become one of the most respected names in rap. But how did it all start? Clifford Harris Jr., the man we now call T.I., was born September 25th, 1980, right in Atlanta's Center Hill neighborhood. His pops was the one who gave him the nickname Tip when he was just a little kid, a name that stuck for life.
Due to his family's financial situation, he found himself dealing drugs by his early teens to earn some money. Between the arrests and violence, T.I. continued to rap, selling mixtapes out of the trunk of his car to get his name out there.
He spent some time up in New York with his dad before tragedy hit and his father passed from Alzheimer's. By just 8 years old, Tip was already rapping, killing local talent shows, and dreaming big. School? That wasn't really his thing. He figured that out quick and dropped out, ready to write his own story. Like most kids from rough blocks, he turned to the streets where fast money came with big risks. But Tip knew what he was doing, and he wasn't scared to roll the dice. Tip didn't waste a single second once he hit the streets. He started moving crack and quickly made a name for himself as one of the young hustlers everybody in the neighborhood whispered about. His grind was loud, and the streets were watching. But that kind of fame always comes with a price. It didn't take long before reality hit him hard and fast.
Rubber band, man. We used to wear rubber bands to signify like how much money, how much blow we had. You know what I'm saying? We had 3 rubber bands that'll probably hold about 5.
One day, Tip was behind the wheel, trying to move low-key without a license, but things went left quick. Cops pulled him over, searched the car, and found crack on him. Just like that, everything flipped upside down. He got locked up and sentenced to 18 months behind bars, plus 7 long years of probation. That wasn't a small hit, that was a life changer. Even when he later started topping charts, that charge stayed in his shadow, a reminder of where he came from. After serving his time, Tip knew something had to change. The streets had already shown him what they were about: fast money, faster losses. So he decided to put everything on his real gift, his music. By 1999, he was back in the booth, sharpening his flow.
Crowd spilled out to the parking lot. I got in to leave. Shootout ensued. And there was several people shot. 1 person died.
The person who died was Big Phil.
Testing out his sound and dreaming of something way bigger than the block. Then came the game changer, his debut track, I'm Serious. The song started buzzing heavy, and for the first time, Tip felt locked in with his purpose. That record cracked the door open for him, and soon after, he dropped his first full album with the same title, I'm Serious. When I'm Serious dropped in 2001, it hit number 98 on the Billboard charts and sold around 270,000 copies. Not bad for someone who had just traded the trap for the mic. That debut was just a warm-up, a small taste of the storm T.I. was about to unleash on the rap game.
Come here at nighttime, man. You see that dude who just rode up and down that street on that bicycle? He was doing something, okay? And it's gonna be about 18, 19 more when the sun...
His real breakthrough came with Trap Music, the project that flipped Southern hip-hop on its head forever. When it dropped, the sound was raw, fresh, and straight addictive. T.I. came with a whole new vibe that nobody could ignore. The album sold over 109,000 copies in its first week, back in September 2003, proof that his voice carried real weight in the industry. But fame never comes clean. That same year, things went sideways when T.I. and his crew got accused by mall security of causing chaos. It escalated fast. Next thing you know, he's facing charges like battery on a law enforcement officer, trespassing, and disorderly conduct. Wild times. By January 2005, T.I. took the hit, pled guilty, and got 18 months of probation along with 75 hours of community service. Still, Those setbacks didn't break him, they shaped him. That pain turned into perspective. And that perspective became the fuel for his next big chapter. And right around then, he found something, or should we say someone who helped him focus. Tiny.
I'm coming.
You saw them coming.
Yeah, I saw them coming. Before they pulled up on the side of me, I saw them weaving in and out of traffic trying to get up to the side of us. I saw when they put the tools out the window.
She became his anchor, keeping him grounded and reminding him what really mattered when fame started calling loud. But before the world knew his name, T.I. had to grind hard. He once said that back in the day, he'd hit up clubs, start making noise, and even clash with bouncers just to sneak in and grab a mic. That was pure hustle, no shortcuts. Once inside, he'd slide his mixtapes to DJs, convincing them to spin his tracks. That street-level grind paid off big time. People started talking, and suddenly, fame was chasing him. From there, he dropped heaters like In the Streets, King, and Down with the King. Every new drop proved T.I. wasn't just another rapper, he was building an empire. And that empire had a name, Grand Hustle Records. Through his label, T.I. opened the door for future heavyweights like Travis Scott, Young Dro, Meek Mill, Iggy Azalea, and a whole lineup of stars. His influence wasn't just about music anymore, he was shaping the future of hip-hop itself.
While 15 miles outside the city, agents spent hours searching the rapper's home. According to court documents, T.I. arranged for a bodyguard to pick up $12,000 in cash from a local bank. The rapper then made arrangements to take possession of the guns Saturday afternoon.
But fame always comes with new dangers. On May 4th, 2006, things took a dark and tragic turn outside Club Ritz in Connecticut. T.I. and his crew got caught up in a violent altercation that ended in gunfire, and his close friend and business partner lost his life that night. The streets were buzzing, but the full truth behind what went down stayed a mystery. Later, T.I. opened up about that terrifying moment, sharing memories that still haunt him. He said he had just slid into the back seat of a black van while his boy Johnson sat up front. Then something felt off. The van started rolling, and suddenly, headlights from another car came speeding toward them, pulling up fast alongside. That's when everything exploded into chaos. According to T.I., before I knew it, shots rang out.
He says I'm drunk.
You're not drunk. What you mean?
I smell all of you.
He says
disorderly conduct.
He says he smelled it. Then he says disorderly conduct. They're just making something up.
Oh my.
91. Stay right there.
On the way.
The sound came from the left side of the van, and everything flipped from calm to complete panic in seconds. He dropped down instantly, trying to dodge the line of fire, while someone inside the van started shooting back to protect them. Bullets flying, people screaming, it felt like time froze for a split second before snapping back into pure madness. When the smoke finally cleared, people rushed to help the wounded, but the damage was already done. T.I. somehow made it out of that shootout without a scratch, but his close friend Johnson wasn't so lucky. Johnson was hit bad, bleeding heavy, and fading fast. They pulled him out of T.I.'s van and rushed him into another car, racing to get him to the hospital, but heartbreak hit hard. Johnson didn't make it. When T.I. later spoke about that night, you could see it in his face, the pain never left. He described his friend looking lifeless, his shirt soaked in blood, with a visible wound near his left temple.
I'ma tell you what, Flip. I'm the leader of the troops. You just following suit. I got a question for anybody following you. What kind of take a picture in a Lucky Charm suit?
It was an image burned into his memory forever. That night didn't just take a life, it changed everything for T.I. After the tragedy, he pressed pause on the music and focused on healing. Instead of chasing fast fame, he turned his energy toward business moves, trying to use work as a way to deal with the pain. But no matter how far he tried to run, the shadows of the streets always seemed to follow him. And this wasn't his first taste of chaos. Hip-hop fans remember the heated back and forth between T.I. and Lil Flip, one of the wildest beefs in the South. Back in 2003, Tip boldly crowned himself King of the South, and that line right there lit the match. Lil Flip wasn't having it. He straight up rejected the claim, and boom, a full-blown rivalry exploded across the southern rap scene. Things cooled down for a minute, but the tension never fully died.
Have you been drinking or anything tonight?
No.
I smell it on you.
Well, I'm not driving that car.
You was driving another vehicle.
But I'm not driving right now.
But you was driving big.
I'm not.
Then by 2004, just as the beef was still hot, T.I. landed back behind bars for violating the probation from his old 1,998 case. Locked up again, he couldn't do much to respond to Flip, leaving everything hanging and unresolved. It was another harsh reminder, no matter how high T.I. climbed, his past always found a way to pull him right back into the storm. And the tension between him and Lil Flip, oh, it was far from over. The beef kept heating up with every month that passed. Both T.I. and Lil Flip kept firing slick shots at each other in interviews, freestyles, and mixtapes. What started as tension turned into a full-blown Southern rap war, and neither one was backing down. Then came the moment that set everything on fire. T.I. popped up as a guest on Houston's 97.9 radio station, and during the show, he threw some slick shade at Flip, but this time, he didn't hold back.
Another thing, I'm a free man. Stop, goddamn, I'm not locked up. I'm straight. I was, but I'm back, I'm straight.
The jab turned into a full-on diss, and Tip made sure everybody heard it. But he wasn't just talking, he was ready to prove it. Right there on live radio, T.I. announced that he was heading straight to Flip's own neighborhood, Cloverland, to shoot a video and expose him as a fraud. That was a bold move, and crazy enough, he meant it. T.I. and his crew really pulled up to Cloverland, cameras rolling, tension thick, and everybody on edge. You could feel the danger in the air. Meanwhile, Flip and his people were ready too, holding down their turf and waiting for whatever came next. Before long, both sides clashed near a detail shop by Clover Burger, and that moment went down in Southern rap history. What exactly happened that day? That's still a mystery. Everyone's got their own version, and no one really knows who threw the first punch, but the streets said it got wild. Afterward, T.I. hit the radio again, claiming his team had the whole altercation on tape and that the footage would drop with his next mixtape. But that video, it never surfaced. The clip vanished, slipping into rap folklore and becoming one of hip-hop's biggest what really happened moments. Years later, in 2020, Lil Flip sat down with Vlad TV, and like always, nothing stays buried on that show. Flip finally opened up about how the beef ended, revealing that after all the chaos, he, T.I., and Houston OGJ, Prince sat down face-to-face to squash the tension for good. That sit-down marked the end of one of the wildest and most talked-about rivalries in Southern hip-hop history. Still, fans haven't forgotten just how explosive that chapter was. It was pure street pride, rap ego, and raw energy all crashing together in one unforgettable era. According to Lil Flip, the peace talk stayed private between the three of them. Him, T.I., and Jay, Prince. Everyone owned up to their part, and that's what made it real. Flip said, "We talked at an undisclosed location and cooler heads prevailed. You know, at the end of the day, it was some petty stuff. That's what grown men do." Those words showed true growth, real men settling their differences instead of letting pride keep the fire burning. After that, T.I. redirected his focus back to what he knew best, the music. Still carrying the pain of losing his close friend Johnson, he poured everything into one of his most personal and powerful albums yet, T.I. vs. Tip. Dropped in 2007, the project dove deep into his two sides, T.I., the polished superstar, and Tip, the street survivor who built his empire from the grind. That album hit hard. It was raw, real, and fans felt every word. It went on to score him 9 BET Award nominations and proved that T.I. could turn pain into power. But even with all that success, it seemed like trouble just wouldn't leave him alone. Right when things were looking up, another storm rolled in this time, all the way out in California. What should have been a quiet night with his wife, Tiny, turned into another headline moment. The couple got pulled over by police, and officers claimed they smelled a strong odor of marijuana coming from the car. That traffic stop escalated in seconds, and before they even knew it, both T.I. and Tiny were in handcuffs. They were hit with charges for possession of a controlled substance, and bail was set at $10,000 each. Another setback hit the Atlanta legend, who just couldn't seem to stay clear of controversy. It felt like every time T.I. took one step forward, something from his past tried to drag him 2 steps back. But trust Tip wasn't done fighting yet. He and Tiny were released the next morning, and after all that chaos, T.I. made a promise to himself it was time to slow down, stay focused, and rebuild. For a long stretch, he kept things cool, laying low, rebuilding his image, and tightening up his brand. He stayed in the studio, stayed in the business world, and kept proving he wasn't just another rapper with a wild past. he was evolving into something bigger. But by 2018, that fiery side of him, the Tip from T.I. versus TIP, started showing again. One night, reports said Tip lost his key and couldn't get into his gated community. He tried explaining to the security guard that he actually lived there, but the guard wasn't trying to hear it. And if you know Tip, you know disrespect is something he never lets slide. Things got heated fast. He started confronting the guard, demanding to be let in, trying to prove who he was. Witnesses said he might have been a little under the influence, and the whole scene turned loud and tense real quick. But instead of arguing back, the guard stayed quiet, picked up the phone, and called the cops. When officers showed up, everything spiraled out of control fast. What started as a simple misunderstanding ended with Tip being arrested and charged with disorderly conduct, public intoxication, and simple assault. It was another wild headline for someone who had worked so hard to leave his old reputation behind. Luckily, T.I. didn't spend long behind bars. He was released the same day after posting just $2,200 bail. After that, he kept things calm, putting his focus on family, business, and music, staying low-key and staying out of drama. But even when T.I. stays quiet, his name somehow still finds the spotlight this time, because of his son, King Harris. Recently, King made major headlines after being taken to DeKalb County Jail, and the internet couldn't stop talking. Known for his bold personality and wild viral moments, King has found himself tangled in a few public controversies, and fans couldn't help but draw comparisons between him and his father's early hustle days. People started wondering, is King walking the same risky path Tip once took? When King got arrested, T.I. wasted no time stepping in. He used his pull to get his son out fast. But instead of laying low, King jumped right back online, fired up and confident. He hopped on Instagram shouting, "I'm a free man. Stop playing with me. I ain't locked up." That clip exploded instantly, going viral in just hours. The internet had a field day, and the reactions were split down the middle. Some people laughed it off, while others said he was doing way too much. One user commented, "He acting like he did 25 to life. Bro probably didn't even miss lunch." Another wrote, "He looks more like a cartoon character than a real person." And someone else joked, "He just completed his ultimate life mission, nothing left to prove." The memes were flying, and soon the whole situation turned into one big internet joke. But behind all the laughs, things were a lot more serious than they looked. According to reports, on the day of the arrest, King was leaving a gas station in his BMW when he nearly hit a cop car. That was all it took to spark trouble. The officer pulled him over immediately, and from there, everything went left. During the stop, the cop claimed he smelled marijuana and spotted a gun tucked on King's hip. What started as a close call on the road suddenly turned into a serious situation, one that had everyone asking if history might be repeating itself for the Harris family. Talk about deja vu. It felt like history was straight up repeating itself. It was almost like T.I.'s old troubles were being replayed through his son, just in a new generation. When the officer ran King's info, he found out there was already a warrant out for his arrest from Pickens County for skipping court on a past case involving vehicle violations. That's when everything flipped from a simple stop to a full-on arrest. The warrant dated back to August 2022, when King had been charged with speeding on a suspended license and driving under the influence. Once the officer confirmed it, he handled business strictly by the book. According to the police report, Mr. Harris was cooperative. I removed the firearm from his hip with no issue. I then asked Mr. Harris to step out of the vehicle, placed handcuffs on him, and escorted him to my patrol car. But King wasn't rolling solo that night. He had a few friends with him, and things went downhill fast. The cops reportedly found a large stash of marijuana inside the car, which led to even more trouble: new charges for possession of excessive marijuana for everyone in the vehicle. Even though King stayed calm during the arrest, the whole thing blew up online and added more fuel to the debate about him following in his father's footsteps. Fans couldn't stop talking, saying things like, "It's like watching T.I.'s early years play out again, but this time live on social media for everyone to see." Despite the memes, jokes, and harsh comments, the situation hit differently for people who really knew T.I.'s past. It was a reminder that fame, fortune, and a powerful last name can't shield anyone from real-life lessons. Some things you just gotta learn the hard way. Fox 5 Atlanta later covered King's arraignment and mentioned that he did eventually show up to court, which had folks thinking maybe he didn't even know about that old warrant in the first place. After his arrest, King was transferred to Pickens County, where the warrant was officially cleared. But of course, that didn't stop the streets from talking. The story had everyone buzzing, especially since T.I. isn't just any rapper. He's a hip-hop icon who's walked that same dangerous path in his younger days. Fans couldn't help but connect the dots, and the internet lit up with mixed opinions. Some felt sympathy, others criticized. But one thing was clear. The Harris family's story just proved that no matter how far you rise, your past or your reflection in the next generation can always come knocking again. One Instagram user dropped a comment that hit hard. This the type of life he want. His dad been trying to school him, but he still want to play the ghetto tough guy. Another person wrote, usually parents fail their kids, but this kid right here failed his parents. But the one that really had everyone talking came from someone who said, T.I., due to your son's actions, I'm gonna let you have a reflection period. Once he's had his epiphany, I'll fund his release myself. The sarcasm was heavy, but it showed just how much attention this whole situation had drawn. In a strange twist, T.I. himself ended up catching some backlash for his son's choices, even though plenty of people defended him, saying he's genuinely doing everything he can to guide King the right way. And honestly, that sounds real, because T.I. has never been shy about speaking on it before. Back in 2022, when King got into trouble over another incident, T.I. went live on Instagram and addressed his son directly. No filters, no excuses. He said, if he keep that stuff up, he's going to prison. Ain't no way around it, and there's nothing I'll be able to do about it. I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's gonna turn out. He even admitted he'd already done everything a parent could possibly do. Discipline, punishments, tough talks, all of it. In his own words, he done got all the whippings and punishments. We did everything we could when he was a child. Now he gotta go through it and get through it, and ain't nothing me, mama, or anybody else can say about it. That right there was a powerful reminder. No matter how much success you've got, family struggles don't just disappear. Sometimes the past doesn't come back to haunt you, it comes back to teach you. Maybe this isn't punishment at all. Maybe it's a reflection of lessons still being learned. Could it be that T.I.'s life is circling back through his son's choices? Maybe. Or maybe it's just life showing both of them that growth doesn't come easy, especially when the world's watching every move. What do you think? Is T.I. being too hard or not hard enough on King? Could this really be history repeating itself? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's get into it. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. We're diving deep into the real lives behind the fame, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. See you on the next one.